All right, shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Quadash. We give me a spiritual video called Limla, Alhaino, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Quadash. The honesty, elect elders of Israel, every well strong salutation to you, brothers out there that labor sound doctrine and sincerity. Yahweh Shema Shah, Barakatam to the elect, and peace, blessed salutation to the house of David, the elect. And I got a photo screenshot here from a brother's story, and it say, he took a screenshot of, I guess, graffiti on a billboard or graffiti on a building, and right where you see it, it got X-Men on it, man. You know, X-Men, and he put the elect, which he right, the people who made the X-Men, they were in all reality, in all realness, the X-Men, the whole thought of the X-Men coming about, the X-Men was based off of Simeon Toko. Speaking about, if you don't know who Simeon Toko was, you should look him up. He called the quote-unquote Black Jesus. He was out there in the Congo pretty much doing miracles. Brothers believe that to be an angel. I believe that to be an angel as well. What angel, we don't know. But yeah, brothers believe that to be an angel. We can't say what angel it was, but yeah, brothers believe that to be Simeon Toko was to be an angel, and he was doing miracles. They say he was doing stuff like levitating, healing, just doing the works that Yahweh Shai did, and stuff like levitating, teleporting. He could regenerate his body. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The original X-Men, they talk about this, and this is what they made the X-Men off of. And right when, Simeon Toko did one last thing, he pretty much told the elites before we go, all right, that he leaving, and but in the near future, they're gonna be people like him. All right, they're gonna be people like him that develop the same capabilities. And he said, and when this happened, you will not be able to stop us. Now, that's a punchline for your ass, man. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was in the 1950s, all right? That was in the 1950s, right? 1950, 1960. So, that was the 1950s. Now, if we look up the X-Men, let me just look up the X-Men real quick. Okay, let me look at the X-Men. Check this out. So X-Men, the first appearance, the X-Men #1, September 1963. So that was after Simeon Toko. So Simeon Toko, that was in the 1950s, man. All right, now look up Simeon Toko. So this ain't by coincidence, man. This ain't by coincidence. It could never be by coincidence, man. Okay? Let's see if they put it. Timeline. 1950s. Show you what they got. Black men in Africa in 1950 with powers like Jesus. I remember reading an article about him, and it had it. Salaki, bear with me. But they might not have it anymore. They probably took it down. Okay? And that's just the crafty counseling of Edom. But anyway, Simeon Toko, that was in the 1950s, man. The X-Men, the first release of the X-Men, the original X-Men comic book series, the first release was we just read it, was in the number one, the first one was in 1963. Simeon Toko came on the scene in 1950s. All right. So the X-Men series is based off of Simeon Toko's prophecy, which ultimately it's already prophesied in scriptures. You know, the Lord telling, you know, the apostles that they're going to receive power. Most High saying going to raise up the tabernacle of David. You know, when the kingdom is, you know, because the tabernacle of David, the kingdom is the tabernacle of David. And Yahweh Shah said the kingdom is within you. That's the power. That's literally the power. When the spiritual power is on the scene, you're looking at the kingdom of heaven. And that's when Edom, that's going to be the beginning of Esau's fall. That's going to be the beginning of Edom's fall, man. And these devils fucking know this, man. That's why they was on Simeon Toko so heavy. But Simeon Toko, the X-Men series is based off of Simeon Toko, man. It's based off of pretty much it's based off of the tabernacle of David. All right, the tabernacle of David received spiritual power. King David being raised up along with the rest of the mighty men of David being raised up with spiritual power. You see? In the X-Men, that's the elect. And now, the man that created the X-Men, what's his name? I forgot his name. But he said it was based off of the civil rights movement, off of Malcolm X and Magneto. You know, he said, Malcolm X and Magneto and Professor X is Martin Luther King. Now, that could be somewhat true, but ultimately that original idea because the civil rights movement was in the 50s as well. Okay, you had a lot of shit going on in the 1950s, man. And it's not by coincidence that Simeon Toko came on the scene in 1950, in the 50s. All right, let's look at the civil rights movement. That was in the 50s as well, man. Date from 1954 to 1968. Now, the civil rights movement in 1968, the X-Men series came out in 1963. It wasn't over to 1968. Malcolm X died and when did Malcolm X die? Malcolm X died in 1965. You know, so ultimately, you know, these devils, they use a lot of deception. What they really not gonna tell you is the X-Men series is based off of Simeon Toko and in a prophecy of the tabernacle of David. Because ultimately Simeon Toko said, you know, basically what Simeon Toko said was the prophecy or the raising up of the tabernacle of David, the Most High building as the days are old. You see, and the Most High is gonna give his servants the adequate amount of power to take down the wicked. To raise up the kingdom that take down the wicked, man. And ultimately we're gonna have help from Michael the Archangel and the rest of the angels. Tell you that Michael shall stand up for the people. We live in a great time of distress and tribulation that's coming upon the earth. You see? So let me get that. Get Amos 9. And this is what they're not gonna tell you, man. This is Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh power upon a civil kingdom, and I will destroy from off the face of the earth. Saving, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. For lo, I will command, I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sins of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake or prevent us. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. The Most High is going to establish the kingdom. He's going to start to establish the kingdom, man. Okay, this is the beginning of the establishing of the kingdom. And these guys talking about second coming, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys talking about, you know, like, you gotta have no clue. Okay? But this is the beginning of the kingdom, man. The power, you know, this is the beginning of Edom's fall. Verse 11, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen and close up the breach thereof, and I will build it. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith Yahweh, that do of this. Okay? So this is what this is going into, man. Now, let's get another one. I want to get another one. Right, this is Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of our people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. Even at the same time shall our people be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Right. All the people shall die. All the sons of my people shall die by the sword. And that day will I raise the tabernacle of David. You know, this is the beginning of the end, the beginning of the trouble. You know, because ultimately, when the Most High start raising the tabernacle of David, King David already gonna have the power, spiritual power. You know, it's all gonna be a process. You know, the apostles are gonna be raised up with power, man. Starting with the apostle Peter, King David, and then the mighty men. You know, it's gonna be a process. The other men gonna start to catch on. You know, gonna start waking up to their heart. They're gonna get the power. That elect, man. This is this thing is all about. And Michael the Archangel gonna be, you know, he's gonna stand up for the people, man. It says, and everyone that should be found written in the book, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame of everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. You know, so that's the X-Men, man. We can get more precepts, but you know, that's really sake of time, a quick brief overview, man, of what's about to happen. So with that, giving our praise to Yahweh Bashim Mashah Bashim Kakadash. Shalom Selek, Shalom.